The views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily the views of ECTV News, the City of East Chicago, nor this broadcast station or website. ECTV airs public meetings as a service to the community it serves. Speakers at public meetings, broadcast, or posted by ECTV News are solely responsible for their comments. ECTV News reserves the right to edit or remove any profanity or abusive language or behavior deemed inappropriate for our viewing audience. If you have any comments or suggestions about this program, contact ECTV News at 219-391-8206.
I'll call to order the regular scheduled council meeting for Monday, February 23rd, 2015. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos. Present. Battle.
Present.
Vasquez.
Present.
Cuevas.
Present.
Orange.
Present.
Maldonado. Arnold. Parks.
Present.
Francisci.
Present. Have a motion to accept the minutes for the regular council meeting on Monday, February 9th, 2015.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Parks, seconded by Councilman Cuevas. Do I have any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos.
Yes.
Battle.
Yes.
Cuevas.
Vasquez.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Cuevas.
Yes.
Orange.
Abstain.
Parks.
Yes.
Francisci.
Yes. Do we have any communications from the mayor?
No.
Any communications from department heads?
Yes. Accounts payable 022315 CC.
So moved.
Second. Motion was made by Councilman Cuevas, seconded by Councilman Battle, to accept accounts payable 022315 CC. Do I have any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos.
Yes.
Battle.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Cuevas.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Francisci.
Yes.
Payroll warrant 021315.
So moved.
And a motion was made by Councilman Parks, seconded by Councilman Cuevas, to accept payroll warrant 021315. Do I have any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos.
Yes.
Battle.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Cuevas.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Francisci.
Yes.
Cancellation of warrants, Val Gomez, City Controller.
Bell.
He's just gonna come up and talk about it.
Val Gomez, City Controller. Basically, these are checks that have been outstanding for over 2 years. The state statute requires us to cancel them out after over 2 years. So that's a listing of the checks we have there. Any questions?
Any questions? Councilman Cuevas?
Do you have a total amount of all the money that's not been claimed?
I think it's totaled out there by
There's a couple of them.
by section.
There's a grand total of 89,000.
No, that's the grand total on that one page. Each page has a total.
Mm-hmm.
So on the first page, it's 89. Second page is 3,847 and 40 cents.
About 96,000, 97,000.
And what are going to happen to these funds, Mr. Gomez?
They go back to the accounts from which they were drawn.
Okay, so they just replenishes that at that
Right.
those amounts. Okay. That's all I have.
Councilman Santos?
Now, these people that are, these vendors that are on here, were they called and told them they had outstanding checks and money out there, or?
I believe they're not, because basically when you send a check out, we wait to the time, and we actually, their day-to-day operations aren't aware until at the end when we start looking at them and we find out which checks are over. Now, the vendors can come, and usually the process we have is we take it before the Board of Works. It's almost like actually starting the whole process again.
You know, and I asked because I see some amounts here, and here, one's an attorney. Now, I'm not sure if the attorney, and I won't say the name, I'm not sure if this attorney knows they have money, but if they have money, I'm sure they're gonna come, and then I'd hate for the city now be in a lawsuit over this money, and then now this thing doubles.
Some of these, if you see for Health East Chicago, the city's been in litigation against with Health East Chicago. So those, on advice of the attorney, have been kept in an account. So, and I checked on this, and they said we're close to a settlement on this. So it should come within the next month. So, and that's included under with that attorney's fees there. Matter of fact, that large number for $89,000, that's all involved in that litigation.
Councilman Cuevas?
Yeah, one more thing about, in reference to the people that were due this money. Can they come back after some time or whatever and reapply for this money?
Right, they can.
Is there any limitation or statute of limitation per se for them to apply?
That I'll have to check with legal. I don't know if there is what the limitation on that would be.
Okay.
But it's similar to, if you notice, the state even has that problem where the state writes out, they'll even put notices in the paper that people owe so much and so much, and they try to find out who they are.
It would depend a bit on the type of contract. Whether it was a written contract or an invoice only or an employee-type relationship, each one would have a different statute of limitations.
So there are limitations? Yeah, okay.
You can't just come back 20 years from now and ask for it.
Well, I didn't think it would be that long, but who knows if somehow somebody might see this and think about it and they want to approach it again or revisit it per se. All right, thanks.
Any other questions? Councilman Santos?
Mr. Bauer, does that require any action from the council? As far as, is it something that, since the State Board of Accounts has flagged the city controller's office, telling them that they have to rectify, that they wouldn't have to need any approval from us to do anything?
I would suggest a motion be made to cancel the checks that are on this list, to put you in compliance with the Indiana state law that requires you to do that, the city to do that, when they have not been negotiated within the 2 years. Just a simple motion to accept this and to cancel these checks would suffice.
Well, I'll motion for that.
Mr. President, so moved to accept the cancellation of checks brought before us by Chief Executive Staff Member Valdonis.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Santos, seconded by Councilman Parks, to accept the cancellation of checks/warrants. Have any questions? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos?
Yes.
Battle?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Cuevas?
Yes.
Orange?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Yes.
Parks? Francisci?
Yes. Madam Clerk, for the record, Councilwoman Arnold is here. Moving on to board reports. I believe first we have Wanda Gordills, the Police Commission.
Good evening, President Franceschi and County Council. The East Chicago Police Merit Commission has extended the new police applicant applications until March 2nd, 2015. We are in the process and researching a new testing company for testing of new police applicants. And as soon as we receive the performance reviews from Deputy Chief Burbidge for the sergeants and lieutenant applicants, we will be setting up interviews. That's all I have at this time.
Any questions for Commissioner Gordills? Councilman Santos?
Are we getting, I'm sorry, you said that we're looking for a new testing company in order to,
Yes.
is that the reason why we're doing?
Okay, the reason was we have tried 2 testing companies. One was very difficult, and we were getting a lot of complaints about that. The other one was too easy, so we're trying to meet halfway, medium company. So that's the test that we're looking at this time.
Councilman Parks?
Ms. Cordillos, just a quick question for you. How many disciplinary hearings have you guys conducted so far?
2.
And of those 2, what were the results? Were you went with the chief's recommendation, you went with your own recommendation, or what happened with those?
The first one, we went up, we went into executive session, and we thought that was, on the Stasco case, that was the best for the community. The second case, the Lineback case, we had 10 scheduled hearing dates, and only 2 went through, and then there was an agreement that came up against both parties. So we went into executive session, and there was not sufficient evidence for us as the commission, okay, to go forth with that. Okay, so there is an agreement that we can present to the council with us, our signature on it, and I'll make sure that you get that.
Okay, so your decision wasn't based on the chief's recommendation?
We do take the chief's recommendation into consideration, but we are looking for the betterment of the community and for the betterment of everyone involved.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but it was the chief's recommendation that ended up being the result of the lineback.
Which case?
The lineback.
Both parties came up against an agreement, okay, both parties. And for the betterment of the community, that's how it went.
Okay, you keep saying for the betterment of the community, and I understand that.
Okay.
But my question to you is, you keep saying both parties came up with an agreement. If one party is on trial, he can't come up with an agreement. He can agree with what the party that put him on trial came with. He can agree with it. He can't come up with his own agreement.
Both parties came up and presented to us on behalf of both sides, which is an agreement that we signed that I can present to you, what went forth, okay? We didn't have sufficient evidence to go forth with this. We were only presented, we had 10 days scheduled and only 2 days went through, okay? So we did the best that we thought was the best for the community.
I totally understand what you're saying,
Okay.
but you're not answering my question. My question is, did you go with the chief's recommendation?
That's what I'm saying. It was presented to us, it was an agreement on both parties. That's what was presented to us. That's what I'm letting you know.
Okay, the question's still not being answered. Maybe we could speak after the meeting.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Commissioner Cordillos.
No problem.
Next, we have Henry Rodriguez, Waterway.
Good evening. Henry Rodriguez, council appointee of the East Chicago Waterway Management District. Hasn't been a lot going on, I know the last few months, but the contractors who are doing the dredging are going to be moving into the area in April, so that's probably when the dredging is going to start. Also, too, they always had a public meeting in this chamber just before they start the dredging. That's the contractors, Army Corps of Engineers. They usually come in here and put out information, slideshow and everything. But for some reason, the Army Corps of Engineers, they want to have it the March 18th. That's when our regularly scheduled meeting is going to be next month over at the Annex, 4444 Railroad Avenue. And at 6 p.m. right after our regularly scheduled meeting is when the next public hearing or public meeting is going to be for anybody who wants to attend and whatever information they can glean from that hearing. So possibly in April, the dredging is going to start again. That's all I have.
Any questions? Councilman Cuevas?
Yeah, Hank, can you drop us something in our mailbox reminding us or giving us
reminding?
dates?
Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
appreciate that. One more thing. I don't know if anybody has noticed the water, the color, how it's changed. And my thing is, you know, have they tested the waters recently to see whether it's the positive side of that is showing? Is that why the color of that water has changed?
Okay.
I mean, it looks better to me. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
hoping that it's getting better, you know?
Well, you know, they're doing about the same thing, but I don't think the contaminations was the same as they had in the Roxana Marsh area when they went ahead and dredged that and pulled all the invasive species, and now they have a, there was one of the schools, I forget which one of the classes took it upon themselves to start being kind of interested in that, and they go out there and they plant some of the native plants and stuff.
Wildlife, yeah.
Right, wildlife. So now they're starting to get back some of the wildlife, birds and coyotes and other geese or ducks that they hadn't seen in a long time, and fish. So that's possibly, I mean, you still got a long way to go before they finish that dredging over there. So it's changing the water color. I hope it's for the better, because I haven't.
That's what I'm hoping
I
too,
haven't
because
looked
it
at.
looks different.
Yeah,
It's
another
not
thing.
as
I'm sorry.
dark.
Yeah, okay. But the parkway, we discussed that before. You know, between the fence and the sidewalk, all that weeds and stuff. I had mentioned that the Army Corps of Engineers, we worked a deal out with them. They would go ahead and take that parkway and put stone in there, all right, landscaping stone, and they have from the main gate all the way to the canal, and come this spring, then they're going to go from the gate all the way north to make it look better. Weed cloth, landscaping rock, and periodically spread some spray there to keep it weeds and stuff from growing, so that way it'll look a lot better than the way it used to be for years.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Kimberly Edwards from Urban Enterprise.
Good evening, council members. Just want to follow up with you on the Thanksgiving holiday and Christmas holiday giveaway of the gift cards. It was quite successful, and the board asked the director to do a survey of those that were given out. And believe it or not, a lot of people weren't really interested in completing a survey, but we did get a handful, and many people really said how this was instrumental in their Thanksgiving dinner, their Christmas dinner. They really appreciated. Some of them even said this made the difference between them having a dinner or not for that particular day. So it was a good result of that. We talked before about the non-traditional scholarship program. That is going forward. We've given out a few applications already. Ms. Gillis has interviewed with ECTV News in order to get that information out. I guess she's on what they call the community corner. So we're making some headway with that. And also they're placing, or flyers have been placed in Ivy Tech College. That's just one location to let the community know about the scholarship program. And I believe at our last meeting, we were still trying to get some information into the local Times paper. We're going to begin working with our strategic plan. We're looking at the programs that we're already working on and see where that fits in our strategic plan, and then kind of identify a process moving forward as to what our next steps will be. And then lastly, your appointee to the board, Melissa Diaz, has resigned, and she was a great contributor to the board, and we just really thanked her for her contributions. And that's all that I have.
Thank you. Do you have any questions from Mrs. Edwards? Councilwoman?
Not a question, just a comment. The interview that Ms. Gillis did on Channel 21 was excellent and very informative, so you could relay that message to her.
I sure will.
It was very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. I did get a call from Ms. Judy Nava with redevelopment. She did, fortunately, had another prior engagement this evening, another meeting. So she'll be at our next council meeting. Madam Clerk, any ordinances on first reading?
No? Oh, yes.
I believe
15-0001, sponsor Mayor Anthony Copeland, appropriation ordinance.
So move on first and second reading.
Motion was made by Councilman Parks, seconded by Councilman Cuevas. to hear ordinance 15-0001 on second reading. Have any questions on the motion? Councilman Parks?
What this is the Justice Department every year gives out grants, gives a grant to the city for bulletproof vests, but it requires a local match, and that's what this is. And this actually should have been done last year sometime, so I'll be asking to suspend the rules if it passes on first and second reading.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos?
Yes.
Battle?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Cuevas?
Yes.
Orange?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Parks?
Yes.
Francisci?
Yes. Councilman Parks?
Motion to suspend the rules and hear on third and final reading.
Second it.
Motion was made by Councilman Parks, seconded by Councilman Cuevas, to hear ordinance 15-0001 on third reading. Have any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos?
Yes.
Battle?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Cuevas?
Yes.
Orange?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Parks?
Yes.
Francisci?
Yes. Councilman Santos?
Mr. President, so move on ordinance 15-0001 on its last and final reading.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Santos, seconded by Councilman Parks, to hear ordinance 15-0001 on third and final reading. Any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos?
Yes.
Battle?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Cuevas?
Yes.
Orange?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Parks?
Yes.
Francisci?
Yes. Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinances on second reading?
No.
Any ordinances on third reading?
No.
Do we have any resolutions?
No.
Do we have any new business? I have one. I'd just like to let my colleagues know our Wednesday, March 11th is our next council workshop. It'll be at 12 o'clock noon, right here in the chambers. Councilman Cuevas?
Yeah, new business, I would like for Madam Clerk to send the mayor and all my colleagues here a letter stating that I will have a presentation for a street honoring for March 6th, the 5th or 6th was Friday. I think it's on a Friday, the first Friday of March. I think it's 5th or 6th. I'll check the date for sure.
It's the 6th.
It's the 6th? It's the 6th, yeah. At 1 o'clock at the corner of 138th Place and Cary. I would like to send an invitation to the mayor, yourself, anybody that would want to go, and I want the East Chicago TV to announce that for me. I will have the people there of the honoree, which was Mr. Jackson, who gave his life for our country in the Vietnam War. And just would like to be that sent out to everyone.
Have any other new business?
1 o'clock. It's at 1 o'clock.
Do we have any old business? Councilwoman Orange?
Mr. President and colleagues, we've talked about this, and at the end of the year, every year, we're supposed to reappoint our board members. And each year we wind up, this gets past us, and then we get into somebody else going into a second term. And as it stands now, I think we have 3 appointments that we have not filled that need to be advertised for. I guess you'll handle that. But Judy Nava and Roger Gates have already started into a second term of a second month. And the same thing happened last year where we got the notifications late, so we appointed them. They were 2 or 3 months in before we ever appointed them. And they got started with their work on the redevelopment. What I would like to have I would present a motion saying to leave these 2 people on. Maybe we can bring it back when it comes up, like in October, September, October, when we're supposed to be looking at these, and advertise for those and because it really wouldn't be fair for a person now, because by the time we advertise, it's already going to be in March. A person would only be able to have maybe a 6 or 7 month term before they would be up again. So I would make a motion that Judy Nava and Roger Gates stay on the redevelopment and finish out this term, and in September or October of next year that we get on the ball and make sure that we get the notices out so that this doesn't happen again. So a motion is on the floor for Judy Nava and Roger Gates to continue as the council representatives for the redevelopment.
I'll second that.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Orange, seconded by Councilman Cuevas, to keep Judy Nava and Roger Gates as the council appointees on the redevelopment board. Have any questions on the motion?
They'd have to be re-sworn in.
Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos?
Yes.
Battle?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Cuevas?
Yes.
Orange?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Marks?
Yes.
Franciski?
Yes. Madam Clerk, can you make sure that we get a hold of them so we can swear them in for this term, please?
Okay.
Councilman Cuevas?
Yes, once again, Madam Clerk, in reference to that, that street honoring, can you also send a letter to the media, the Chicago media, let them know to contact me or to schedule them to be present for this presentation?
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Orange?
Also, we need to do our advertising for the Board of Zoning Appeals. Also, I think since that we are notified now that Melissa Diaz is no longer on the Urban Enterprise Board, I know that she represented a business, so it would have to be a business owner. So we would advertise that one, and also we still have the Republican one open for the Urban Enterprise. So if we could have those advertised.
Any other old business? Moving on to public expression, if you could please keep your comments to 3 minutes. I believe our first one is Mrs. Ruby Power Flowers.
Good evening, Council. My name is Ruby Powell Flowers, but everyone calls me Miss Ruby. A few weeks ago, I came before the Council and spoke to you about the concerns of my friends and fellow residents of the 4th District relating to the new roundabout. Well, I noticed that this concern made front-page headlines this weekend, and now that the Northwest Indiana Times, the mayor, and his traffic division director have joined me in informing the public about these safety concerns, I come again and ask that you join me as well. I ask that more signage and lights be installed, and I also ask that we direct semi-truck traffic from Klein Avenue to exit onto Chicago Avenue, because the roundabout is even more dangerous to my friends and fellow residents when semi-trucks are attempting to maneuver through it. I also ask, before any more roundabouts are installed in East Chicago, that we first correct the safety concerns brought to light, and that this council, especially the councilperson of the district that this is being installed, take a more aggressive approach in its safety. I appreciate your time as always and hope that all of you join me in making a safer East Chicago, especially one in the 4th District. Thank you. For all of East Chicago.
Next, we have Mr. Clemmy Jones.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the reason I'm here today is, like I always do, complain. But as a voter, it makes me sick and tired of seeing people wants to be representing Chicago, For instance, Mr. Garcia, he claims a residence in East Chicago. The place that he's claiming, someone else lives in that apartment. He lives in Whiting with his girlfriend, but he wants to represent East Chicago. If you all got any kind of sense, the voters of East Chicago, don't elect him, or she's not worth it. Thank you.
A motion to adjourn,
So
please.
move.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Parks, seconded by Councilman Santos. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Santos.
Yes.
Battle.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Cuevas.
Yes.
Orange. Orange.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Francisci.
Yes. Good night.
Go that roundabout.